bedroom. So it'll be kind of neat knowing that you're watching television, yet you're seeing me in my spare bedroom here. So guys chit chat for a little bit, and then I'll kind of walk you through what I'm doing while at the same time I'm weather too. So you guys carry on and just tell me when you need me.
Wonderful. Okay. Thanks, Brian. We're excited.
Yeah,
Cool.
We're excited to get the inside scoop, the behind the scenes view.
Ain't that the truth?
I probably go on the air at about what time is it? 12:03. Probably here in about 10 minutes or so. So I'll turn the camera and show you what I'm doing as we're in commercial break, and then I'll do my weather, and then I'll come back and talk with everybody afterwards.
Absolutely. And
Sounds
Brian,
good.
feel free to interrupt us when you have time.
Okay, well, I'll just listen in here for a couple seconds because I got to update a couple of things. So I'll be sitting here doing that, and then when it gets close to me to talk, I'll probably have to mute it right quick.
Okay, perfect.
So
hey, crew, just so you know, if you didn't catch that in the email that we sent out, Brian Smith is our special guest in this session, and he is our weatherman. He works for Channel 9. So we are super excited to have him join us today and tell us a little bit more about weather and what it's like with where he works and all of that. But as he said, he's going to be live very soon, and we'll get to kind of watch that as it's happening. But if you have questions for him, let's hold those until we have opening times for that or near the end of the program. And meanwhile, Elaine and I will act as your co-hosts.
that's right. We're going to be, Michelle and I are going to practice our junior Doppler skills. So
everybody's got a junior Doppler.
that's right. So you guys, for one, Michelle and I wanted to kind of open up and ask you a question for the day. And that is, we want to hear from each of you about what your favorite season is.
And that is of our 4 seasons. Right now we're in fall. Is it fall? Is it winter, spring, or summer? Which one? Why don't we start with you, Beth? What's your favorite season, Beth?
Summer.
Summer. Yeah, I like that sunshine. What about you, Alyssa?
Fall.
Fall, we're in it. You are loving life right now, aren't you?
School visit in the middle of this, so that's what
cool weather, nice leaves.
Yeah, for sure. It looks like Emily says her favorite season is summer, just like you, Beth. Yeah, I've got some summer fans. I think I saw another message in the chat box from Parker. Parker's favorite season. You want to tell us what it is, Parker?
It's winter.
Winter. Oh, sorry, I asked you with your mouth full. I'm sorry. Winter. Well, that's just right around the corner.
Yeah. Parker, do you like the snow?
Yes.
I
did with a snowman with my sister and a friend here at the office.
Oh, that's cool. I like to
We built our own little snowman. We can call it Lady Olaf.
Lady Olaf.
Super fun. Let's see. Josh, what about yourself, sir?
I'm indecisive between spring and fall.
I hear ya. I am too. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. BJ, what do you think, Beej?
All right.
Do you like fall the most or some other season? Fall? Is that because we're getting into basketball season?
No.
Yeah. If y'all didn't know, BJ's quite a basketball star.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Thanks, BJ.
It's me.
That's you.
That's you. The one and only.
Elaine.
So I want to interrupt real quickly here because I'm going to go back on a second. I'm going to try to tilt the camera, but you guys are going to see a oops, camera. You guys are going to notice a really big secret that everybody that's on television does when they're at home. Does anybody want to know what that secret might be? Anybody want to take a guess?
Yeah, please.
I want to know.
Yeah,
Me
we wanna know.
too. Me
All
too.
right.
I want to too.
So let's see if you guys notice anything about my suit.
No.
What?
So funny.
He looks like he didn't
Not worn
PJs.
pants in months, and I thought I'm not going to change.
Damn, bro.
A little secret here. All right, so I'm about to go on the air in about 45 seconds, so I'm going to mute this, and you guys will hear me talking in the background, but y'all care what y'all's think.
Okay.
Okay.
But what I'm getting ready to do right now is a commercial tease. So I'm going to say, hey, it's warm outside, but coming up next, we're going to talk about this, this, and this. So you're going to hear me say that. I don't have a stand for my iPad, so it keeps slipping down, so just in case.
No.
I'm going to turn the volume down right quick.
Okay.
I have an iPad as well.
Huh?
Well, we're
I'm on my
excited.
iPad. Yeah, I'm on my iPad as well too.
So we're gonna listen in here once Brian gets started on that segment. We're gonna see what it's like.
Order.
We'll pause with our question about the season.
Nothing in there.
So you guys, I have to tell you
I do.
and fill you in on a little secret for myself too.
So he's talking to me in my ear, telling me to get ready to go on the air.
No.
Like
Telephone.
Brian, wearing my PJs.
Michelle,
Me
you want
too.
your PJs?
PJs! Don't tell anybody. Shh.
No.
Y'all keep talking. I got you guys down real low.
Okay. We'll jump back
Who's
to
that?
Hey, let's see. Perfect. Oh yeah, Emily, you and Kelly are wearing the same shirt. Hi,
No.
Kelly. Hi, Kelly. Kelly.
I'm in my PJs too.
Oh, look at that, another
I'm
one.
not.
My mom
new
won't let
tights
me wear my
today.
nightgown or pajamas No. in the meetings.
And around here, we're looking at lots of sunshine to enjoy for the rest of the afternoon. Our temperatures are currently in the low to mid 70s. We're about a degree or two warmer than yesterday. Surely this can't last forever. Well, maybe for a while. We'll talk about it. We'll take a look at the longer range forecast plus an update on the rain this weekend. That's all coming up in just a couple of minutes.
Who's that?
Woohoo!
This is easy as that. Let's see here.
Gotta get him a
I'm going to give you guys a shout out on the air, but using my iPad.
No.
Well, thanks, Brian. You
We'll see
made
how
that
this
look
works.
really
I
easy.
haven't done it this way before. So right now I'm in a commercial break. So I've got, I'll kind of show you guys around here real quickly. Not interrupting anything. So I've got my TV back here. I'm watching television just like you guys are watching TV. The hard part is that when I'm talking, it's about 7 seconds later, I appear on the TV. So I can't go and listen to the TV. I have to listen to the earpiece that is ear. I have computers that are on my desk here. By the way, my daughter decorated my desk, so it's all pictures of her.
Aw.
Aww, how cute.
Let's all do that together.
So cute.
Aww.
Aww.
Love it. All right, then I got my regular computer. I just did a school presentation about an hour ago, so that's what that is. I've got my lights in here. I always have to close the blinds because I don't know what the light's going to be like outside. So like today, it's really bright and sunny, which would impact the light that's in my spare bedroom. So I always keep the blinds closed. But I got a big bright light there and a big bright light there. And then I got the camera right here. And attached to the camera is this little bag. You can kind of see inside of it here. So this bag is like a gigantic iPhone. And I'm basically FaceTiming the TV station, just like you guys are doing Zoom. And they take my FaceTime, if you will, and they send it to the director's booth. And then that's what you guys see on television. So it's funny, my power went out yesterday, everything in here got dark
Mine
except
did
for
too.
this. So this was still working and you could hear me, you just couldn't see me because the camera is plugged into the wall. So there's the big camera that I use. And as I mentioned, my spare bedroom. So thankfully I have what is called a hideaway bed. So I fold the bed up and there's my suit and ties and I just got random junk over there. And then this is the green screen that I'm standing in front of. And basically the green screen is just a big old green curtain. I didn't even know they made curtains this big. So my spare bedroom door, closet doors over here, and then this goes right up against my wall. And then when you watch me on television, you'll see me looking down, and that's because the computer, to change all my graphics, is sitting on top of this, which is a basketball bench from Ottawa High School. You just got to use what you can use. So I build all my graphics on this computer here every morning. You can kind of see there's a temperature map right there. And then if I want to change the graphics while I'm talking, I have to push the space bar. I don't have a button or anything like I do at work. It just doesn't work here using this system. But what I'm doing is I'm actually patching in to computers that are at the TV station. So I'm actually utilizing the computer at the TV station through this computer. It sounds really cool, but it's not the easiest thing in the world to do. And then I just stand in front of the green screen and then I hit that button the entire time. And then basically I can look over to that camera there or to that TV and see what I'm doing, but I have to remember that that TV is about 7-8 seconds behind. So most of the time I just have to memorize what I want to say. And I don't write any scripts or anything like that. Everything I do is in my head. So I hopefully know what the weather's going to do. And then when I start talking about it, I can go on TV and start talking about it. So I am about 45 seconds, and then here's my earpiece. So I have a director that's back at the studio at Channel 9 saying, Brian, stand by. He'll tell me how much time I have left and things like that. So I'm about to go on the air here in just a couple of seconds. So I'll talk right into that. And if you guys are watching television, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, I'm talking with you guys, and then I'll show you guys on television like this. And then I will have to put the iPad down so that I can do the rest of my show.
Okay. Well, we've got you up on a screen at Elaine's house, and we can spotlight that when you put us down.
All right. Well, cool.
Yeah. So you guys, I have my phone facing my TV.
Oh.
So what I'll do is I'm going to mute this down a little bit here so I can hear my director. His name is Matt, and he is a humongous Alabama fan. So is there anybody out there that's crazy enough to be an Alabama fan?
No.
I like Green Bay Packers, Atlanta Braves, and the Baltimore Ravens.
Looks like we have one that Josh says he's an Alabama fan. That's okay. Nobody's perfect.
I'm a Tennessee fan.
There you go. I actually went to Mississippi State. So if you look over there, there's a cowbell, big white thing with a black handle. Our big thing is shaking cowbells.
Oh. Okay.
All right, get ready to go on the air here.
Who's that?
All right, so he just told me to stand by.
So, you guys, if you want to
My tie look okay?
unmute yourselves, and we can be quiet until he tells us to say no. We're on standby.
You know what, Greg? It's another beautiful afternoon, and I wish I could get outside and enjoy it, but I've been busy all morning long because I want to say a big thanks to the 5th graders at Bestie Shepherd. I had a chance to do a little Zooming with them, and also right now I'm talking with the folks from the City of Chattanooga Therapeutic Recreation. They are on Zoom with me right now because they wanted to see how this is done, how I'm doing it here at the house, and also want to learn a little bit about weather. So hopefully they can all wave and see themselves on camera right there. But it's amazing how we're able to adapt with technology, and what a beautiful day it has been. So I'll get back to them here in a second. Let's talk about your forecast. So guys, I'm going to sit y'all over here while I get to the forecast, where we're looking at quite warm temperatures again today, upper 70s, low 80s. But look at the cold air to the north, where we're sitting into the 20s in Billings and 34 degrees with some snow close by in Minnesota. This is the second snowstorm they've seen across the upper Midwest. The dividing line is now this red line, a warm front that is well to the north, but that same system will drag a cold front in our direction as we head into tomorrow and Saturday. But there's just not a lot of energy with that front. So I don't expect a lot of rain, but there will be some showers. Most of the energy and cold air with this system does stay to the north. So quickly today, almost exactly like it was yesterday. High temperatures, low 80s, will fall back to around 60, although you may notice it's been a little more humid today and tomorrow. So starting tomorrow, we're in the 60s and cloudy. Let's stop at around 5:30. We're clocking out. We're getting ready to start our weekend, and you see some scattered showers along parts of the plateau. Then we get into 7, 8 o'clock, and you start to see a few more showers again off to the west. Overall thinking is that most of the rain will stay to the west of us as we head into your Friday night, but then overnight we could see some showers marching through, and there could be even a couple of rumbles. As we wake up on Saturday, most of the showers are gone, but then we'll watch for the possibility of another round of rainfall as we head into Saturday afternoon. Saturday afternoon's rain all depends on where the front is. So again, scattered showers tomorrow. There could be some more scattered showers, maybe a rumble overnight tomorrow night. And then Saturday afternoon, the best chances of rain now might be eastern parts of the viewing area. So if you're going apple picking down in LJ, you want to go down to beautiful Dahlonega, then we're looking at better chances of rain in those areas. After that, it looks like Monday, Tuesday, even into Wednesday of next week, we start to dry out. So less chances of rain early next week, only to find ourselves with a better chance of rain maybe by the time we get into Thursday and Friday of next week. Something we'll keep an eye on. I want to show you this real quickly. We were thinking we might see a big cool down later on next week. Latest from the Climate Prediction Center says, nope, looks like above average temperatures right through the end of the month. We'll see. You can definitely tell in that 7-day forecast. Low 80s today, mid 70s through the weekend, with some showers, especially Friday night, early Saturday. Now you can see the delay there. And look at that. You don't even see my pants on television.
That was too funny.
So pretty cool, huh, you guys?
Yeah.
So I have to, I will do one last little weather hit at the end of the show, which will be here in about 6, 7 minutes here. And then that's it. And then we guys can hang out. I may lose my iPad here because this is my daughter's iPad, and I'm going to blame it on her. She didn't plug it in last night, so it's about dead, and I have no charge cables. But if it does die, I'll call back on my cell phone.
Perfect.
So I'm going to update a couple more things. You guys do some more chatting, and we'll talk back here again in a second.
Okay. Well, I just got a message, everybody, from our friend Wanda Moore. She said, I see you guys are on the new news with Brian today. Isn't he so much fun?
Oh, I thought you would be. How cool.
Look at that. You're already celebrities. People are hitting us up saying they're seeing you on the air.
That's cool.
That is neat.
So, Michelle, who is up next to answer the season, their favorite season question?
Yes, that's right. Just for those who joined us later, you have your 4 options of winter, spring, fall, or summer. I think we left off with Seth. Seth, what is your favorite season? You'll have to unmute yourself to tell us.
Using.
Yeah, what's your favorite, Seth?
Oh, so.
Summer. I think that was Beth too. You guys like to get a little sunshine, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Eat some ice cream. I hear you. Up next, Daniel. What about you, sir? What's your favorite season?
Spring.
Spring? Okay. Is that because you like to smell the roses, Daniel?
No. Because I was born in spring.
Oh, because you were born in spring. Okay, that makes it a pretty special season. Let's see. I think up next, Kelly. We'll need to unmute you first before we get your answer.
They're better.
Yeah, go ahead again, Kelly. I don't think we heard you.
Hi, Nancy.
Hi. I'm eating lunch.
Yeah, we know.
Go ahead, tell them what you like.
I like what?
Summer.
I love summer. Summer.
Summer. Okay. Another summer one.
There's a lot of summer fans.
All right, Isaiah. What about you? Oh, and you're muted, buddy. Give you a chance to unmute there. I wonder if he's going to be another summer guy. And Isaiah, you're looking for that little mic button. It should be on the lower left-hand corner of your screen. It has a slash through it. Well,
Okay.
there he is. Okay.
Let me see. My favorite season is probably winter.
Winter. What makes winter your favorite?
Winter is my favorite because I like to be probably very windy and cold.
Oh.
You like to be cold?
Yeah.
Yeah, rather than hot like all these summer guys. Yeah, yeah. All right. And Jimmy, I think Jimmy's zooming in from a pretty cold part of the country right now, aren't you, Jimmy?
Yeah.
You want to tell us where you are?
I am in Wisconsin. As you can see, it has been snowing a lot.
Yeah, Jimmy, is
And
there
it
any
looks
way for
like
you?
Mother Nature ain't cooperating with us.
Mother Nature's sending flurries, isn't it?
Yeah, she's sending in flurries from every single turkey butt direction.
From every direction. Jimmy, can you show the screen or take it to a window to show us the snow
Yeah.
Oh.
in Wisconsin?
And can you tell Brian Smith that we got up to about like a foot of snow?
That's awesome.
Don't rub it in, Jimmy.
Jimmy, we can't quite see out the window. Can you point the screen more towards the window? I think it needs to angle down. We're seeing ceiling. There it is.
Oh, no.
Oh,
wow.
Oh,
I
all
miss
that
it.
white stuff.
I miss it, Jimmy. You're making me homesick.
That's like a winter wonderland.
Yeah, it is. Have you done anything out in the snow yet, Jimmy?
Not yet.
Okay. Well, it looks like you've got plenty of room to make snow angels and all the like, have a snowball fight.
Yep. And I bet you the Polar Express wouldn't be traveling in this kind of weather.
Probably not. It looks like I'm gonna take a break here real quick. We're gonna check in on Brian. He's got another I don't know what's going on, but he'll tell us afterwards.
She's live right now.
Oh, there it is. Signs of fall. They want your pics.
Okay, how are you?
Hi, Elaine.
So I definitely want to know from all of you.
30 to about 3,000 feet and higher. Only a few showers this weekend, some by as early as tomorrow evening. Sounds good, Brian. Have a great day, everyone. This match is up next.
Poof! He disappeared.
Magic. It's magic.
Magic.
He's lost.
Oh, I see a shadow. Maybe it's his ghost. I mean, it is Halloween season after all.
Yeah.
Let's see. We've got a few more people that we need to ask this question of. Rachel.
I like 3 seasons.
Ooh.
Fall because of the holidays, winter because of the cold, and summer because, well, vacation.
And it's
I don't
hot.
like, and I have a little love-hate relationship with spring because of my allergies.
Understandable.
Amen to that.
Well, I love your reasoning for all those things, Rachel. That's
Thank
next
you.
level. Yeah. Looks like we've got old Brian Smith back.
I had to take off my coat and loosen up my tie because one bad thing about being in this small room with all these bright lights, it's hot in here.
Yeah.
And I opened the windows, but you know what? There's been a couple of times, I don't want to harp on my producer too much, but they've actually asked me to close the windows a couple of times because the birds were chirping too loud. And I got a dog that barks too, so sometimes you'll hear him. So trying to get this to stay. Let's see here.
We understand those things, Brian. We have some people on the call with puppy dogs. Sometimes we get to hear them.
Yeah, mine are out in the backyard right now. I just had the, I'm going to try to plug this thing in here, see if I can. I'm worried I might lose you guys, but I will call, right? You know what? Forget it. I'm going to call you guys back on my phone.
You're fine.
I mean, that's the amazing thing about all this technology. You can jump on with your phone, with your laptop, with your iPad, all these different ways.
Hello, Michelle.
Hello, Sam. I'm glad you could join us today.
Sam, what is your favorite season?
My season is fall because me and my mom already put our tree up for Christmas this year.
What? You are on it, my friend.
Oh, you are on it.
Yeah.
And I can't wait till this Saturday because I'm a Vol fan for life.
No.
They're going to have a tough time this Saturday.
Uh-oh. Who are they playing this week?
Alabama.
Oh.
Alabama.
Turn the camera over.
I'll tell you guys a little thing here too that Elaine's been on with me a couple times, but that on occasion I also fill in for the other show that's on right now. So if you were to continue watching, you'd see that's Ted there from J103. Just had a chance to talk with him a couple days ago, and because I cannot go to the TV station to record any of these, what I usually do is because it's hard to record it here and keep everything stable. I got a little tripod here, but you'll see me pop up here in a second asking a question. So what I like to do is when it's nice outside, and as long as it's not too terribly sunny, I'll actually go outside and record these. And just like recording a FaceTime, I've got Morgan, who's one of the directors and photographer back at the station will patch me in here at my house and then go over to, you see me there, I'm literally in my backyard when I'm recording these. So that's where you see the trees back there. So we've tried to figure out different ways to do this since they won't let me back at the station. So I wanted to show you guys that right quick. I didn't even know I was on television today. I recorded that last Monday.
Wow.
So it's pretty crazy, Brian, that because it sure looks like you're actually at the station when we see you on TV. Who knew
That's
that you
true.
were sitting at home in your PJs?
Yeah, I show
Right?
the kids all that all the time. I'm like, I wear PJs or I will wear shorts. So I've only been to the station twice since March. Once was during the tornadoes, and then the other time was we had a really massive power outage across Highway 153 and Amicola, and so they called me in to work to do that. So that's only 2 times I've been. There's only a couple of us that have cameras at home that do this, myself, David Glenn, and one of the main reasons, obviously, COVID stuff, but the other reason is because Addison, my daughter's been home with me a lot too, so the station's been like, you can hang out with her, and you can just keep all your stuff at home, and then David's mother-in-law lives with him, and I think she's well into her 90s, so they've just left him at home too, but Addison's now back in school, so now I have every day off. I don't have to worry about it. But I do a lot of cooking shows, and she's been on TV 100 times because she likes being on TV. She gets it from her mom.
Very nice. Well, it looks like I read in our chat box that Josh has met David Glenn on a previous studio tour.
He's a great guy. I don't see him very often because I work a completely opposite shift that he does. I come into work about 3:30, 4 o'clock every morning. So I roll out of bed and just roll right in here to work. And then David goes into work about 3:30 to 4 o'clock every afternoon. So we have completely opposite schedules. But there are many times where either we're talking to each other when storms are going on, or I'll just show up at the station. And I'm a weather nerd, so if it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon and we got bad storms that are on their way, my wife, my kid understands that I'm in weather mode, and lots of times I'll just show up at the station and I will just put on a microphone and then I start talking. So that's kind of the sort of the teamwork that we have with David, and he just kind of gives me a nod and says, "Brian's here," and "Brian, what you got?" And so that's kind of how we communicate and cover storms. And then Bill and Aaron will do the same thing too. And then I do a lot of the social media for the team. We all do, but I'm on big on the social media as well too, because that's where a lot of people do get their weather information from.
Oh, very nice. And so, Brian, do you have anything left with the station that you need to record? Or are you done?
I've got to cut a weather segment on the computer that I've got to submit to the website, but essentially I'm done.
Okay. Okay.
Well, I know that we had a couple other comments and questions in the chat box while we were watching. And that is, people were also talking, I think it was Josh, right? You mentioned he had met Don Welch before.
Yeah.
And Emily had said that she has met both, and I don't know, Bill Race.
Yep.
And so is it Latricia?
Yes.
Emily, you'll have to clarify if she's on channel 9 or channel 3.
Yeah, Latricia. Well, Latrice is on channel 9. Latrice is on channel 3, and Latricia is on channel 9. So, yeah, it happens. We also have like 4 Aarons that work at the station too, and for a while there, we had 3 Aarons that were on the air in the morning. So
wow.
You'd be like, "Back to you, Aaron. Thanks, Aaron. Over to Aaron." Which is literally happening. So.
That's pretty funny.
That's a little crazy right there. And then
yeah,
somebody wanted to know if you knew Patrick Core.
So when I first got here, I grew up in Mississippi. I went to school at Mississippi State University, which is a fantastic meteorology school. So it just so happened that that was kind of in my backyard. It's one of the only schools that have both meteorology and communication. So I've got 2 degrees, one in communications, one in meteorology. And basically, if you want to be on television, you go to Mississippi State University. So I went there and I grew up in Mississippi, but when I was in Boy Scouts, I used to come up here to Chattanooga and I would raft the rivers and go to Rock City and all that. And I always thought that Chattanooga was a pretty cool place to live. So when I got out of college, I stayed a couple of years in Minnesota because I was crazy, and then decided to try to find a job down here. And luckily, Channel 12 hired me 15, 16 years ago. And that's when I had a chance to work with Patrick Core and a couple other people there. Patrick's super nice guy. I really enjoyed working with him. And so I stayed there for a little while, and I've had opportunities to leave city of Chattanooga, but I love it here. And sometimes I know I can go make money, better money somewhere else, but it's actually not that expensive to live here. And there's a lot of great things in this city. And of course, as we all know, Chattanooga is growing. So I love it here, and now raising my daughter, and my wife loves it here too. So I plan on not going anywhere, and hopefully I'll stay at Channel 9 for a while. But how did I end up at Channel 9 might be another question, and how I know Elaine too. So at Channel 12, I worked there on the morning show for 8 years, and basically I just got tired of it and decided to find another job in PR and marketing, which I've never done before in my life. And somebody at the city was crazy enough to hire me. And so I was happy to work with the city of Chattanooga and the Parks and Rec and Elaine and the pools and the recreation centers and everything, which I thought was probably one of the best times of my life. And the main reason why I left is because Don Welch was retiring, and he asked me to come take his spot. And Don Welch had been on television for 40 years. And for someone like that and his boss to ask me to come take his spot, I thought was an amazing thing. So I left the city of Chattanooga kind of, bummed out and sad because I didn't really want to go, because I thought I had achieved some things there. But then also I was honored to be able to come and work. And I did Don Welch's show for a couple of years, which is that interview show. And I'm a weather nerd. So then the morning show came open and I went back on doing the morning show. So here I am now.
Wow. Yeah, you guys. So Brian, I got the chance to work with Brian for a little while, which was really cool. And like Brian said, he's actually invited Therapeutic Rec on his show before. So I've got to go to the studio and be on TV, and it's really cool. So we'll have to pull some footage and show it to you guys at a later date. So I bet we can find it on our Facebook page. But I have a question, because I know that you mentioned this, Brian, but what time did you say you get up in the morning?
And that's because I get to sleep in.
4 a.m.
Well, actually, let me rephrase that. I start work at 4 o'clock. So my alarm goes off about 3:15. I say a few bad words, and then I get up. And thankfully, I don't have to get ready. I don't have to put pants on. So I can walk right in here. And I will tell you, I could not do this job without my wife, because my wife gets up with me every single morning. And she makes my coffee. She makes a quick little bit of breakfast. And then she just goes right back to bed. And she loves doing it. And I've told her many times she doesn't have to. But if I do something good during the day, she takes the credit for it.
I mean, that right there is commitment.
Yeah, I don't think I would do the same.
I don't know that many people would. I mean, I'd get an automatic coffee maker and like lay a bar out on the counter or something. Like,
yeah. And it's been interesting, because I have to close the door, and hopefully the girls don't hear it, but I've woken up Addison many times because I talk loud, and she likes to open the door up at random times and be like, "Daddy, you talk loud," and I'm just on the air, and I'm like, "I'm sorry, honey, go back to bed."
So you guys, raise your hand. Who else gets up at 3:15 in the morning?
I see no hands.
AJ.
AJ.
I'm,
Get up at 3:15.
there's times when I'm awake at 3:15 in the morning.
Josh, I think that's because you haven't gone to bed though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably my biggest downfall is I go to bed too late. So when every afternoon, about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, I will take a nap until Addison gets home. So I try not to, but I'm getting old.
I don't think you're ever too old to take a nap.
Right on.
So I saw another question, Brian, in the chat box. We may have missed this from your report this just a little bit ago. Someone was asking Sam, I believe, what is the temperature forecast for today here in Chattanooga?
I'm going to go with 83.
Woo!
So, pretty warm day today. Yeah. And it's also a little more humid today, too, so it feels a bit more uncomfortable. I mean, it's nice outside, don't get me wrong, but it's October, so you're thinking, it's not really supposed to be this warm. We're supposed to be at 71 degrees, so we are quite a bit above average, and no rain. We might get a little bit of rain tomorrow night because I'm camping. That's usually when it rains. But other than that, I don't see a whole lot of rain this weekend.
Nice.
And so, Brian, we've asked a lot of the people in this group, but what's your favorite season?
Absolutely, without a doubt, 100% fall. I love fall because I love spring when it starts to warm up. It feels good. You feel regenerated because of the bad winter and so on. And we have more storms in the spring. So I would naturally like spring. But after coming off of a hot day, that first couple of blasts of cool air and then leaves changing. And then, of course, I'm a big football fan. My teams aren't good, but I'm a big football fan. So I love fall, and I love to be outdoors and hiking and camping, like I said, this weekend. So
Beth and Alyssa say they love fall too. There were quite a few fall people.
I like fall.
Yeah, you're a fall. I'll tell you, I need my leaves to start changing at my house though. They're still pretty green.
yeah, so
Me
this week's
too.
so warm. The cold snap that we had this past weekend has got leaves changing, and some of the maple trees, sweet gum trees, elm trees are changing. They usually change a little bit sooner, but these big, glorious oak trees that we have, I think this warm air that we've had this week has kind of stunted them a little bit. So I was thinking they would probably change really quite a bit this weekend, but I think now it's probably not till next weekend.
Okay.
But we should have really, really pretty fall this year.
Well, that's good to hear. And I think Josh had a question. Josh, did you have your hand raised?
Yeah. What kind of software did you use for the weather forecast and radar?
So the software I use is from WSI. It's called WeatherMax is what they use. WSI is a company out of Boston. And there's really only about 3 companies out there that supply all the graphics. So like I use the same weather computer system and graphics as what the Weather Channel uses, what CNN uses, some of the bigger stations. There's other systems that are called like Barron has their own system. And then Weathermetrics is another company. So it's all like our regular computers. Now they use Windows just like I use Windows just like everybody else does. For a long time I didn't. I had to use a program that was called Linux, and that Linux stands for gray hair. But so I come in and I patch into the TV station, like I said, using the computer here, and it just pulls up the graphics. But my company is called Sinclair Broadcasting, and they're the ones that actually make all the graphic templates, the backgrounds, and I just kind of plug in the numbers here. And it's been interesting because in my career, and I've been doing this now for about 17 years total, in my career, I've seen basic graphics to flying through and animations to now back to just basic clean graphics. And I think the main reason why is all the fly-throughs and stuff are cool every now and then, once in a blue moon. But if you do it every day, people that are at home watching are like, what's going on? Just give me the basic graphics. So I think over the years, we've just gone back to basic, but have really cleaned them up. And in my career, you know, satellite images have gotten better. Radar images have gotten a whole lot better. We got 3D radar technology now, so we can look inside storms and see where, you know, certain winds are, where the hail is, and where some of the heaviest rain is. And now radars, they used to scan every 7 minutes. Now they scan about every 2 minutes. So that's really key here, because when we have storms that are coming, you want to make sure you get as much data as fast as possible. And one day we'll have it down to just a couple of seconds here. So when you look on your radar app, that radar image is about 2 to 7 minutes old, depending on what app you use. But when you factor in all the computers and everything I use, it's about a $300,000 system.
Wow.
Whoa.
Wow.
That's why I don't get paid enough.
A little pricey, I tell you. I see Ms. Emily has a question.
All right.
I have the News Channel 9 weather app. It's all floating right now based on iOS 11 feature. And since I'm more interested in learning about the news, since Josh has toured the studio before, would that be possible after COVID?
For you guys to go to the studio?
I meant if it would be like my mom and I.
So, yeah, I mean, they won't let anybody in there for now, but what I've done before, and I don't know when anybody or when the entire station will go back. Every time I ask, it's like in 2 months, and then I ask, and then it's 2 months later. I probably won't go back until next year. But when all this is done, whenever that is, lots of times Josh or Greg or myself, we'll have people come in. You just got to sign your life away. And then usually people will come in for Josh, it'd be like at 4:30, and then kind of watch the show, and then he can chit chat a little bit after the show. Or if it's me and Greg, we usually do the noon show just because it's easier to do the noon show. We're not running around as much. But people have come in, not too much, but people do.
But we would sign a waiver or something?
Yeah, you'll have to sign your life away, just like anything else. Especially in government.
True.
Yeah, true. That's right, Rachel. It's pretty cool, you guys, to see how it all works. And like Brian was talking about, some of those really expensive cameras, they move around kind of all by themselves. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That is true too.
Brian, Beth and Alyssa think it's all cool beans.
It is cool
That's
beans.
one of my favorite sayings, cool beans. My dad used to always say that, and so actually I say that. So, and believe it or not, my parents could care less about the weather. I still do not know where I got my love from weather from. Nobody in my family knows. They're like, you became a weatherman? But I've always loved it, and you know, my friends would be outside, and half the time I'd be inside watching the Weather Channel. That's just kind of how I was at times, at least when there were storms going on.
Very cool.
Somebody wants to know how, so we see that green screen behind you, but then we saw you on TV and you're like pointing at things on the map. How do you know where to point?
So what our cameras do, and now even our cell phones will do this now, it's amazing. It's called chroma key. And what that will do is it will focus on a color, like green, sometimes really bright blue. And what it will do is it will key that color out. So it makes it disappear. And then you can put all kinds of graphics using the computer. So I can put whatever graphic I want to back there behind me. I can put you guys back there. I can put the graphics back there too. But as long as I don't wear green, then I will always stand in front. So it'll make all green colors disappear, whether it's in your tie, your shirt, green eyes. The reason why it's green is because that's a hideous color to wear. So most people will never wear that color. Now, there used to be a lot of blue screens, but a lot of people like wearing French blue, like what Michelle has. And what happens is that would end up disappearing. So they stopped using that. How I know what I'm looking at here in my spare bedroom, I have nothing to look at. So it's just by doing this for a number of years. Now, when I'm turning to point at something, I'm looking at all the elephants that are up there. Nothing. So I'm just faking it. When I'm looking directly at the camera, then if you watch carefully, you can see my eyes look off to the left a little bit just to see the TV, just to make sure I'm on the right thing. Or I'll glance down and look at the computer. So that's how I look at home. But when I'm at the studio, what I do is I have a TV that's on one side, a TV that's on the other side, and there's a TV built inside the camera with a mirror. And what I do is I look directly at the camera, and it's a reflection of me doing the weather. When I turn to the side, I can see myself on television. So basically, I'm watching me about the same time you guys are watching me as well. And like I mentioned earlier, I don't really script anything. I don't write anything down. I just kind of have it all in my head. But I kind of talk about what I see on the maps because you guys are seeing the same thing on the map too. So when I say it looks like we could have rain here at 5 p.m. on Friday night, you can see it on the map, and I'm just sort of reiterating that. I'm kind of telling the story, and then the graphics are my pictures.
Very cool. So is there, we've got two questions about predictions. Somebody wants to know Halloween night. Any thoughts on the weather?
Yesterday, up until yesterday, Halloween night was absolutely beautiful and cool. And then that changed today. There's a storm system coming in next Thursday and Friday. Right now, I still think that storm gets out of here for Saturday, and we're fine. Kind of cloudy Saturday, 50s when we go out there and do some trick-or-treating there by Saturday evening, which isn't bad at all. But I'm a little fearful that some of that rain might hang around during the day on Saturday. So we'll see. But it changed yesterday and today. It could very well change again Monday. That's the thing about long-range forecast. It takes, you look. I can look at things all the way to about 14 days from now, but you always got to keep in mind those things change all the time. Everybody, and I don't blame them, wants to know what it's going to do for Thanksgiving, Halloween, the first week of November, and that's 10, 12, 20 days away, and things can change quite a bit. So I like to tell people, we know pretty good what the weather's going to do 4 to 5 days in advance. Really good 1 to 2 days in advance. After about 5 days, it becomes more of trends. Like it looks like it's going to cool down in 5 days. If there's a really big storm system, it looks like quite a bit of rain might come in here in 7 or 8 days. So you start looking at bigger picture things 7 to 8 days from now, but then smaller picture like where storms will be and what time 1 to 3 days from now. All that makes sense.
That makes sense. That makes sense. So the other question somebody asked was, do you think we'll see any snow this winter?
So I gotta go. I'll talk with you guys later.
Ryan, you silly.
Very funny.
So the chances of snow this year compared to the last couple of years, which hasn't really been much, is less of a chance this year than we've seen the last few years, because we are in what is called a La Nina pattern. And what La Nina is, we've actually just discovered this within the last 8 to 10 years, give or take, as El Nino and La Nina. It's been there forever, but we've now really got an idea what it does for our patterns. So La Nina is warming waters in the Pacific Ocean. How does that impact us? Well, what happens is winds from the west will pick up that warmer air and pull it into our direction. So La Nina usually leads to a warmer winter month for us, but also too, it might be drier this winter. We've had some very wet winters over the last 5 or 6 winters. So if it's drier, I'm okay with that. But that's overall. So we might have 2 big snows, but then we go back in and look at it all at the end and go, it was still technically warmer and drier than normal, but we had a couple of big snows. So around here, like last year, we had 1 big snow in February. And then some people would say, we finally had a really bad winter. And I'm like, well, no, that was 1 morning snow. We just tend to remember those snowstorms. So it's always a possibility that we have a big snow or at least a decent snow. But usually those don't happen until February or maybe even early March.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm gonna sharpen up my sled either way.
Trust me, I've got a 7-year-old girl that gets mad at me every time I mention snow and then nothing happens.
Yeah.
You
Daddy.
Well, you heard, or maybe you didn't, Brian, but Jimmy, he's actually in Wisconsin right now and with like a foot of snow.
Oh, wow. Okay, I thought I saw something earlier, and I was like, was that on TV or was that somebody's backyard? So, yeah, Wisconsin and Minnesota seeing really their second snowiest snowstorm in October ever. That's hard to say. So, yeah. And that's the thing about weather. I know you may hear a whole bunch of headlines and we're going in this direction and we're going in that direction, but I mean, we're still having quite a bit of odd weather any given year. You know, like we had a massive snowstorm at the end of September in Denver, and now we're talking big snows there in Wisconsin, Minnesota, and the Dakotas. For this time of the year, it's quite unusual, while it's nice and warm here.
Yeah. Did I see somebody's hand go up?
Josh?
Isaiah?
With La Nina, with us currently in La Nina season right now, do you think we'll still have more hurricanes or even a second tornado season here?
So La Nina does have a major impact on hurricanes. The last major La Nina year that we had was back in 2005. And we also broke records in 2005. That's when we also had Hurricane Katrina and Rita and all those. And then after that, it was 12 years before we had a hurricane threaten the United States. People tend to forget that. And we've had a pretty active last couple of years, but being a La Nina year this year, obviously it's been very active. Thankfully, the hurricanes that have hit the United States, while they've been bad, they haven't been, catastrophic as they could be. To answer your question, we have a hurricane out there right now, Epsilon, but it's not bothering anybody. I would still imagine we'll have a couple more this year because hurricane season goes all the way through the end of November. It might be a tropical storm, could be a hurricane, but this time of the year, there might be ones or two that develop down by Central America or out in the Atlantic. We tend not to see too many of them impact the United States. Secondary tornado season, I don't really see any signs that we have a secondary tornado season this year. We're trending drier going into December, but we all know that can certainly change. But it does not look to be that active this year. Hopefully, I don't eat my words.
So I think we have time for one more question, and that is Isaiah. Did you have a question for us?
Yes, I do.
I do.
When do you start working with David Glenn?
When did I start working with David Glenn?
Yes.
I've been here at the TV station now for, it's been 6 years now? 7 years? Gosh, maybe that long since I left.
I think that sounds right. So yeah, about 6-7 years ago.
Yeah. So about 6-7 years ago, and I've probably seen him about 6-7 times. probably more than that, but I don't see him too often. But honestly, he's a great guy. He's actually a very quiet guy. You don't hear from him very often, and he's a big family man, and he's got his 2 twin boys and married. His wife's a teacher, and he kind of does his thing, and then he goes home, and I respect him for that. So me, I'm all over the place. My wife's like, I can't take you anywhere.
Brian, I think we have just one more question. BJ, did you have a question?
Yeah, I do. How do you know that they put weather started?
How did he get started?
Yeah, it did. How do you know put start until weather start?
So how did I get started in doing this? Honestly, I think when I was younger in Mississippi, like here in Tennessee, we have isolated storms that pop up in the summer. Elaine's always texting me about those. Are we gonna have those? I'm like, so they just sort of pop up in the afternoon. And what happens is that sometimes it might be just one storm and no other storms around. we have those in Mississippi too. And I would remember my house in Mississippi is like on one of the only 4 hills in the entire state. And I could kind of overlook and see storms off in the distance. And I remember we have horses and stuff too. My parents would be out feeding, or I would be out feeding the horses. And I would see some of these storms, and it just would fascinate me sitting there, and I would watch them. Even as the sun went down, I'd still see lightning striking or in the clouds. And I just thought that was the most amazing thing. That is one reason why. Also, too, when I was in 2nd grade, we had a tornado hit our school. Didn't do a whole lot of damage to the school, but it blew in some windows. It blew in the doors. And, of course, I cried like a little baby. And after that, I was scared of storms. But as I was scared of storms, I became more fascinated by them, and I wanted to read about them. And I think my scared yet watching the Weather Channel and stuff, and I was just like, okay, wow, what's next? And then that just got me the idea of loving weather. And then I went to school, and like I said, went to school at Mississippi State. We didn't do a whole lot of weather in my high school that I can remember, but I got it all at State and learned a lot there. And I was even a professional storm chaser for 2 years in a row. So.
Wow.
Then I got married, and I was into that.
That's right. No more chasing storms.
Those are great questions, everyone. And Brian, thank you for all the insight.
Thank you.
Thank you,
No
Brian.
problem. This was actually fun. I
Thank
usually
you.
show a little presentation that I have here, but I think it's been kind of cool that I was able to show you guys literally on TV and kind of how it works. And if you guys ever want to do this again, let me know. I've always got something to talk about. So.
We were in the studio, you guys, which is cool. Kelly, did you want to say something real quick?
Yeah.
Not yet.
What's that? Your iPad thing.
He's using an iPad.
That iPad thing?
Yeah. She loves her iPad.
Oh, you like your iPad too, Kelly?
Yeah, I got my kids here, but it's dead as a doornail. So.
Yeah. Right, you got to keep them plugged in, you know.
Yeah, hers gets hard to plug in now because I guess she yanks the cord out so much. But bless her, she's had this since she was. Actually, this is mine from when I worked with the city.
Nice.
Won't say how I got it, but anyway. She's been using it ever since, and she actually doesn't watch this that much. So bless her for having an iPad now for about 8 years. So
yeah.
That's why it dies, because she doesn't watch it that much.
Is that yours, Kelly? You showing us your iPad?
Yeah, it's not that bad.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm currently on mine too. I'm
several.
Don't worry, I'm using my mom's old iPad that she gave me. I
We have
understand.
several iPad users in the crowd here.
Hey, if it still works, that's great for it.
Absolutely.
It's good to pass them around, pass them down. Well, you guys, unfortunately, we are running out, or have already run out of time, I think. And Brian mentioned earlier, he's got to go get on the computer and get some stuff to the station. So I think we're going to have to wrap it up.
That's right. That's right. So we want to give Brian, to you, a major thank you for joining us today. It was super fun.
Happy Brian.
It was.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brian.
Feel
Thank
free
you,
to
Brian.
invite me anytime. I'll be glad to do this because, as far as I know, for the next couple of months, I'll be sitting right here.
Well, we may have to bring you back in December in hopes that maybe we'll have a white holiday. You know,
I hope so.
I hope so. I miss the snow.
That would be a great present because it has not been. It's been since 2010 is the last time we had any snow on Christmas, or measurable snow.
Wow.
We've definitely had some rain though.
Yeah, rain.
But yeah, thank you so much for joining us. There were lots of thank yous in the chat as well.
No problem. Well, thank you as well. And yeah, I'm gonna go do a couple of internet things, and then I want to take a nap.
I'm gonna do the same thing when we
I'm
get
already
off.
halfway there because remember, I'm wearing my PJs.
Well, that was definitely a treat to get to see Brian and learn more about the weather. Elaine and I prepared just a small presentation for you guys that we'll show here and we'll send out to everyone. And
Bye, Brian.
Bye,
Bye,
Brian.
Thank you,
Bye,
Brian.
guys.
Thank you, Brian.
Bye.
Bye, Brian.
Count us down.
And
Bye.
remind you all, Elaine and I are junior
Elaine,
doctor status.
Hold on.
So as you see this, we'll just run through it real quick. Just some fun facts about what a meteorologist is, and that's Brian. Some about the weather and the clouds and the different kinds of clouds with some pictures and some word descriptions. So we'll share that with everyone after this meeting so you can check it out yourselves as a little extra to the session today, all about the weather.
That's right, you guys. As Brian said, Michelle and I, we are junior Dopplers. We text Brian a lot when we are face-to-face programming and it's outside and we see maybe a storm and we need better advice because Michelle and I, we don't know. So we try our best, but sometimes it's just a guessing game because these pop-up storms. But I hope you guys enjoyed it today.
It was so fun. It was awesome.
That was really fun.
Really cool.
It was.
We'll try and also share out if we can see the little clip that Wanda said about when he showed us on the iPad. So we'll have to see if we can find that. But it was definitely a cool experience and a little behind the scenes, and hopefully we all learned something today.
Yeah,
I know I did.
Fun. That's good.
I know. Yeah, I did too.
Oh, yeah.
So crew, thank you for joining.
You're welcome.
Thank you for
You're welcome.
thank you for
Thank
today, Elaine, Michelle.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, ladies.
So we'll be bringing on some other special guests before the end of the year and having a few more Chillin' Chat sessions. They're every 2 weeks. So the next one will be 2 weeks from today in November. And we'll send out
November?
November
Yay,
5th.
my mom's birthday month.
All right.
Nice.
And also
Right.
my parent, not only my mom's birthday month, it's also my parents' anniversary month too.
Oh, it's a special month, Rachel.
Very fun.
Well,
So that's why I like fall too.
Lots of things to celebrate for sure.
Absolutely.
So what's our next theme in 2 weeks in November? Do you know what that theme is going to be?
We'll send that out in the email, Parker. I think we're still working out some details.
I'm just curious what the next theme's going to be.
I know.
I'm pretty excited.
We'll have to finish the details on our end and keep you guys in suspense.
That's
So-
right.
Sounds good.
And if you ever have ideas for things that you want us to do, let us know, and we'll see if we can make it happen.
Sounds like a plan.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Like a
Sounds
plan,
like a plan.
guys.
Well, you guys enjoy your weekend if we don't see
You
you.
too.
I know today's
Bye.
Thursday.
We're gonna do the Zoom exercise with y'all tomorrow.
Awesome.
We'll be there.
Great to see everybody.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Us down.